Computer, blah, blah. Recording is in progress. Okay, we'll just jump on straight into it then, I suppose. Hello, welcome to Time Enough Podcast. It's where we go through all of the episodes of The Twilight Zone and beyond. As always, this is Matt here. Over there, it's Luke. What is it?
It is the Time Enough podcast. It's the podcast where we go through all the episodes of The Twilight Zone and beyond.
The circle is complete. Podcast over. Yeah. So most of the folks that have come on doing the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone, which always with the signifier that he's not necessarily the showrunner here, but is this your first one?
Yeah, I thought was thinking of watching some others, then I thought, no, let me watch my first one as my first one. Then I'll go back and catch up.
Okay. So what's your initial take on this one then?
Well, we were doing the Rod Serling Twilight Zones, and we'd be like, oh, this is kind of progressive for 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, we're having to do that, but for 6 years ago.
Oh,
Like, this
for
is so Trump 1 coded that, like, in Trump 2, it feels quaint.
it does, but at the same time, it's like, this is today's headlines, you know? Like it's less quaint. It's just kind of like, yeah, like comparing what happened the first run versus the second, right? So,
Hmm.
um, I was looking at images and things of this, and this one for some reason I did kind of remember being in black and white, even though it's not. So that has not happened with the previous episodes of the series. I'm like, yeah, they're in color, but this one kind of felt like that, maybe because it's got all the creepy rooms and extreme
The
lighting and
also
weird
the shots of
contraptions.
the other dimension look kind of grayscale as well.
Oh yeah, those actually are. Yeah, but I just for some reason this one does have kind of a. It doesn't necessarily feel like the original show, but it does feel like something that should have been in black and white.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll go ahead and run through a bit of the trivia on this one. Original air date was May 16th, 2019. John Griffin wrote this teleplay. He is also credited as writer for the film Crater and created the TV series From. Don't know anything about those, but whatever. Matthew Herndl directed. This seems to be his highest profile piece of work, though he's done cinematography for TV series like Genius and Motive and the film Eden. Jennifer Goodwin played Eve. She played Snow White on the TV series Once Upon a Time and voices Judy Hopps in the two Zootopia films. Mr. Allendale was played by James Frain. He also played Thomas Cromwell on The Tudors and Sarek on Star Trek Discovery. I once I saw the name Frain, I was like, that rings a bell. It's something Star Trek. I was thinking like someone on Voyager for some reason, but Discovery makes sense, especially time wise. Sabrina Guevara was Ana Fuentes. She did not have standout credits when this episode aired, but she is more recently on Daredevil Born Again as Sheila Riviera. Show I haven't watched yet because, I mean, who has time to commit to a series these days, you know? Well, except when you're podcasting The Twilight Zone. Karen Conoval was Idea. Entertainingly, it seems her main claim to fame is mo-capping Maurice in the 2010 Planet of the Apes series. So some people call her Maurice, I guess. Uh, that was
The
the
only
most.
one I recognized was Snow White because I have seen a little bit of Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, for me, I have too, but because my in-laws were watching it a lot, like
Yeah,
10
my
years ago.
sister was into it, and I was just watching it to catch the Lost references.
Well, I didn't catch as many of those because they were watching it dubbed in Japanese. I've
Mm.
only seen Once Upon a Time in Japanese, but I have seen a fair amount of it in Japanese. So, um, if you go ahead and give us that opening narration.
Meet Eve Martin, loving mother, devoted wife, active in her community. Eve was raised to view the world from a bubble of comfort, safety, and privilege. But that bubble is about to burst, and when it does, she will find herself within the strange and unfamiliar borders of the Twilight Zone.
Here we are, Twilight Zone, a little more chill, pun not intended 7 years ago than now, but not that much more chill, is it? I mean, this still sucks. What
Mm.
we're seeing here, we're just not. Well, we got 1 or 2 episodes ago the full scale riots in the street, so I guess they can't do that again. That was maybe last episode, yeah, something like that.
Now, maybe you've already gone over all of this, but what is the Jordan Peele role then if he's not the showrunner?
He's like an executive producer, so I'm sure he's making decisions and things, but where Rod Serling wrote more than half of the original Twilight Zone and a good
Mm,
third at least of Night Gallery, Jordan Peele only has like one writing credit on the show. So I mean, I guess he's their champion. They need the star to push
yeah.
the project forward, so he's serving that purpose. I like his narration.
Mm. No, yeah,
I
he's a perfect fit if we're going to have a modern day Rod Serling. It's just
I've heard
I didn't know how involved or otherwise he was.
Yeah, I've heard like mixed reviews on his narration. I think Mark a few episodes put the key out. Like, unlike Rod Serling, who seems like he's confidently coming from a creepy place, Jordan Peele sounds like he's terrified when he's giving you the narration, and trying to hide it. And I'm like, okay, that's the key I needed to really appreciate his narrations. I definitely like the closing one too, where he's holding an ice cream cone.
Yeah, Rod Serling is of the Twilight Zone, but Jordan Peele is in the Twilight Zone.
He's seen it, man. He's seen some stuff, man. So,
Maybe he needs an ice cream cone like Rod Serling needed a cigarette, you know?
yeah, that is a weird metaphor, the ice cream truck and getting in the ice cream truck at the end of the episode and all of that stuff. I was like, okay, I mean, I get it. I don't know. It's like obvious and oblique at the same time somehow.
So I watched this episode. Mercy was there, but she didn't watch it with me. She's not in the mood to watch entertainment about ice right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I told her what it was. She's like, "Oh, so is the twist going to be that they're actual aliens?" I was like, "Well, yeah, probably, kinda." Like, yeah, more or less. It was, the space between spaces rather than space, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's the whole thing like, well, if aliens are, well, they're not UFOs anymore, whatever they're called now.
UAPs.
Thank you. Still haven't gotten that acronym down. Do I need to? I don't know.
Nah, I'd still
Anyway,
prefer UFO.
yeah. Anyway, there's the one idea. Oh, they're from Earth, but just like you said, the space between space, because that kind of makes more sense than deep space travel.
In a sense, yeah. Like, the problem is the more we learn about space, the harder it is to actually believe anything can travel in it. And it's
Right.
like, but that's not fun. I want to explore space.
No, you want to get on you want to get on the Enterprise D and blast away, don't you? Warp away. I
Hmm.
should use the correct terminology here. Um, and
I want to
then
go on some kind of Star Trek.
yeah. Well, that's why Zephyr Cochrane made such an amazing, discovery or whatever, right? Um,
Hmm.
I did find one, I guess casting Jennifer Goodwin, especially in 2019, does bring a fair amount of not baggage, but just like first when she first goes on screen, half the people watching this already have like, little Snow Whites on screen now,
Yeah.
And
And also, and she looks like suburban white housewife dot JPEG. She's perfect casting for that role.
right, right. And you keep watching this episode like, man, she seems slappable. And then, oh, maybe she's not. Oh, now she is again. She kind of keeps going back and forth, which I guess is kind of the point of the character in this episode.
Yeah, like
She's
the
not
recent
always
run
slappable, but a lot of the time she is.
the recent Running Man did a similar thing where when they bring in their sort of middle class, upper middle class character, it's like I get them, but they're still wrong. Like, because she's not an evil person, but she's, the sort of complacency that lets evil happen character.
But she still double parks and she doesn't actually know how to spend money. I mean, I know the
Yeah, yeah,
card
yeah.
gets denied, but before that, it's clear like she never does this.
Yeah, and it's when and then later they're like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mum. But she's a stay-at-home mum who doesn't even do all the stay-at-home mum stuff. Like she's a nothing.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I guess what is she doing? She's trying to get out of paying taxes. I did like the line, "Real Americans get out of paying taxes." And
Yeah.
having lived in Japan for 20 years, I'm like, I haven't paid I've never paid taxes to the Obama or Trump administrations. If we want to
To me,
or
it's
Biden.
insane that you guys are supposed to pay taxes when you don't live there. Wasn't
Oh
that your whole beef with us?
no, no, I don't pay taxes from here.
No, no,
I
no, but
think
like a lot of the American teachers do. They have
oh
to pay some sort of because
I
they still have a listed address at their parents' place or whatever.
I think I have to file
I'm pretty
something,
sure
but I
you're
don't need to pay
meant.
anything. Oh.
But no, no, yeah, I don't have to do anything for taxes in the UK because I'm not in the
Yeah.
UK.
Right. Well, if my mom's been lying to me for 20 years, that's fine. I don't care. It means I haven't given the American government any money.
Hell yeah, brother.
Uh, double parking. Ice cream is good. That's why the metaphor is oblique. Everybody loves ice cream, right? So
Hmm.
yeah. Sorry. I'm just looking through my notes. So I'm bopping back into that.
So it's only
Um,
when you said it out loud just then that I even got it.
hmm. Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely picked up watching the episode itself, and
Yeah.
because maybe this is an American thing too. I mean, we're Pavlovian coded to hear the ice cream truck.
Oh no, no, that's a UK thing as well.
Okay.
It's a common bit that your mum tells you that they only play music when they're sold out of ice cream.
Ah.
To try and stop you going out there.
I love it's one of the original Tenacious D sketches where it's like, I finally got a song. And he's like, don, 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 don. And then the ice cream trucks come in the background. It's like, dude, that's the ice cream song. Which, I mean, that is a songwriter thing when you're like, oh, this is already a song. Or even worse, oh, this is a song I've already written. Or when you work on two songs in one day and realize you just made the same song twice. That's always a bummer. I mean, maybe you gave it a completely different tone or something. Where like it's basically the same song. I did that like Monday. That's why I'm
But
bringing it
as
up.
you've told me many times, you feel like all songs have already been written.
Well, there's idea you're just pulling things out of the ether, recombining things. You're always better off like recombining, I guess, than trying to write something new. I mean, even classical musicians, half the time they didn't write the melody; they just grabbed one that already existed and orchestrated it.
Mm.
So that's pretty common. Uh, Before we get into bureaucratic hell, I guess. Oh yeah, the other thing in the supermarket. Why they only have one line open, especially when someone's having an issue? I mean, you open the second line quickly, or maybe hey, maybe it's America. I haven't been in America much recently, so
I mean, here, Japan is finally doing the thing where they're replacing them all with self-service machines now,
yeah.
which is a bummer.
Which way do you go?
If I've only got a little bit, I'll go to the self-service. But when I'm doing a whole trolley, I can't be asked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll usually try and go to a person. Although I found a few times, we got the new Burger King here in Wada, and twice now I went in and was about to get into the self-service or the computer line, and I was like, wait a minute, no one's even in line for the in-person order. So you just walk straight up to the counter, and other people
Yeah,
are
I've
waiting
seen
for
that
these
where people
machines.
don't even use the. Although in Burger King, I'd want to use the machine because I haven't decided what I want yet,
They got
and I want to
menus at the
poke around on
door.
the screen. But yeah, I have ordered from the person as well.
Yeah, I've gone both ways, but when we went a few weeks ago, yeah, we stood in line for like a minute. I was like, wait a minute, no one's in the other line. So even we, for a few seconds, we didn't like catch it right away.
Hmm.
Um, uh, so anyway, at that point, that's where
I'm sure there's a Black Mirror about that.
yeah, even our kids get arrested or whatever. So and this is kind of the most Kafka zone we've gone for some time.
You mean just with all the sort of waiting around and the men in suits and the
The men suits being very oblique about what's going on, and then near the end of the episode when they put her in that contraption, that seems like like into the penal colony sort of stuff. That machine kills you, but I mean this one doesn't make your day good, so we can keep it in the Kafka zone.
yeah, like once you get into the contraption stuff, that's when it starts becoming sci-fi. Everything up to then is just like I said, it is just real but slightly too tame. Like the
Ye-
letting the kids and the dad go. No, they just be summarily executed in the street. Like
2019, 2019.
exactly, yeah, that's the bit that hasn't
No
quite
one
aged.
expected to get executed in the streets in 2019. Oh yeah, and yeah, not single mom, but yeah, mom in a car with ice rolling up. That goes differently now, doesn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
So and it's one I liked it. I guess they hit the Lynchian buttons a little bit too, but it just seems specifically toned to like Kafka. Like back in the original series, there was the obsolete man, which had a very Orwellian
The
feeling, and
Obsolete Man is definitely the episode this reminded me of.
yeah,
If
yeah.
it's anything, yeah. But obviously
Granted,
that one laid everything out before you straight away, right? Whereas this was they wouldn't tell her what was going on.
well, that's where I'm making the Orwellian versus
Yeah.
Kafka thing. I mean, in the Orwellian one, they don't tell you what's going on either, but you know the system in that one at least a little
Hmm.
bit. Well, not you don't know the details of the system. You have to find a secret book for that. But you know basically how things work in the Orwellian system, where the difference with the Kafka thing is nothing makes sense. No decisions make sense, you know? Why
Mm.
am I here in the first place? Uh, while we're on playing the comparison game, I was definitely thinking about Fringe. Did you watch Fringe?
No, I'm aware of it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, because that has the whole like like parallel dimension stuff and
Was
people
that the
flip
latter
flopping.
Whedon one?
We not. It was another one where J.J. Abrams started and
Abrams,
left.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Abrams, like the pilot man.
the
He
Pilot
just
Man,
makes
right?
pilots. Yeah.
And he's fantastic at it. Don't let him end a film series. I did recently. I decided to have another look at Solo at least, which
I've still not seen Solo.
I kind well I put it on like when I was going to bed, but I didn't last very long. I think I
I'm gonna
got
watch Solo and not watch Andor just to piss off Mark. Oh, sorry,
a.
that, you'll have to put in the sound effect.
Oh, but, well, I mean, I try and keep it classy, but since the show now drops F-bombs, I'm like, I don't have to censor the podcast
Ah,
anymore.
fair enough. Yeah.
Because my thought with the original Twilight Zone is, not to call people old fogies, but people might be coming in that don't want to hear it, and but if they're
Yeah.
coming in for the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone, they can deal with it.
Hmm.
Because this one actually was a little less obscene. It used a few well used obscenities.
Yeah, nothing caught me out as like, oh, they swore. So I guess they didn't use any big ones.
Yeah, there's been a few in the past where you're like, wait, what? Like, not. I'm not saying it like bugged me. I'm just like, it would have been classier for the show just to leave it out. For some reason, it bugs me more in the Twilight Zone because Star Trek with Discovery started dropping in F-bombs and things too, and that bugged people too. And in Star Trek, it doesn't really bug me.
Yeah,
I
I
want
think
to.
I would be more the other way round because Twilight Zone is a different story every week. So I'd be happy. Oh, okay, this is one where we swear. Whereas
Yeah.
Star Trek is like this is supposed to be happening in the same universe where like everyone on the Enterprise D was so polite all the time.
Yeah, but you want to hear Patrick Stewart's Picard drop an F-bomb, right? Or three.
Hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. And they keep it relatively sparse. I
Mm,
think Twilight Zone, since most of these are like real world situations, they're like, oh,
yeah.
we can justify a few more. Like a few weeks ago, there's one that's like in the Alaskan police station that had a fair amount of obscenities. I'm like, this really doesn't need it. It would have
It's
been
also just
fine.
how people talk now, right?
That I think this episode does that. So, and I
Mm,
do feel like a weird prude bringing up the amount of obscenity on the Twilight. So, I'm like, hey, it is a difference. So, I guess it's worth having a look
mm.
at. Hmm. Um, when she doesn't, when Eve meets Anna back in the what are they called? Contain. What do they call these things? It's a
They
name
call them
I
lots of colorful euphemisms, but in the camp, let's just say
in the
it.
camp. Okay, when she's in the camp and and she's talking, she signs Anna again. I was like, "Do you remember the names of my kids?" And I'm like, I can't remember half of my students' names, but they change
Yeah,
every year
but
too.
they're also not people you treat like family, right?
True, and that's like 100 people, so it is hard to remember 100 names.
Hmm.
But I
I
do
can
suck with
generally
names.
remember all the kids in a given year. But whenever like there's some kid I taught previously and they're like, "Oh, it's so and so. Do you remember him?" I'm like, haha,
I
"Yeah, it's
remember your
you."
face. It's you. But
I
no,
remember
yeah.
catching you when you tried to jump off a table and kill yourself. I don't remember your name.
Well, recently ran into the high school student at our main school, not but
Yeah.
anyway, it's a kid that I taught in when he was like 6, and now he's like 16, and he's real nice now. And yeah, and we were talking for a while. I was like, "Yeah, you punched me in the crotch when you were 6." No, we'd already been talking for a few minutes, so he thought it was funny by that point. But
Right.
yeah,
You
but no.
just look. You just walked in and saw him like you. You're the son of a bitch.
That would have been a little harsh. Um, but even with that, even with any class, like it is weird. I don't know how my brain's programmed, but I'll like get names slightly wrong or something when I say them. So I tend to avoid using names just because I know I'm like I'm gonna screw it up. That's like yeah,
I only have that
typical
with the classes that don't talk.
that too. I mean, there's certain ones
But
where
I
of
think
course
I'm
you can.
pretty good at remembering kids' names. But yeah, like I don't think I could remember all of my like cousins. Well, my first cousins, yes. Second cousins, no
Oh,
way.
okay. Oh, yeah. No, no, a second cousin. Sorry. I think I could handle first cousins, although I had to think
Yeah.
about it for a minute. But also, all of my cousins are like at least like 10 years old or more older than me. And then
Mm.
and all their kids are at least 10 years younger than me. So I've just never, there's no one like my age in my family. And you would tend to remember people like your age that you would have
Yeah,
palled
I'm
around
kind of
with
the
growing
same
up.
because my siblings start at 8 years younger than me, and my cousins are at least younger than them. So I'm your cousin. I'm the one who's 10 years older than everyone.
Yeah, yeah. but yes, that was the part of the episode where I felt really bad because I'm like, yeah, I forget everyone's names, but you are right. This is more of a family
Yeah, that's a
situation.
situation where you should remember the name, right?
Yeah. Although I guess she doesn't see them often. I mean, how often if you don't
No, but
see
I mean,
people sometimes?
I've seen your daughter like a grand total of twice. I know her name.
Yeah.
It's Chloe.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just that was just scratching a certain like ooh I suck with names, and it makes me feel like a little bit like ooh.
But I think that scene had
I
to be
did
in there
remember Anna's.
because
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
otherwise the episode is like it's doing that thing you hate where it's like, oh, but imagine how sad it would be if this happened to a white person instead. So they had to put her in to call her out on like, no, you don't even get it. Like you're barely
I
getting a taste.
I did remember her saying she was from Guatemala, 5 minutes earlier. So,
I did remember that. So that yeah, we got that one at least.
but I think everybody's gonna get that one. I don't know. Is everyone gonna get that one?
Oh, yeah, I mean that one's in there to make you feel good for remembering, right?
Right. Yeah, I guess that's where they're rolling on that particular one. Um, actually, I just watched you watched this before I did. I watched it last night, so you know more. You have more time with this episode than I do. But I see the short plot descriptions, and I actually thought it was going to be like with Anna as the main character. So when she wasn't, I was like, oh, that's surprising.
Hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't instantly recognize no Jennifer anyway, because I hadn't seen that show for like 10 years, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I clocked her right away, but I still didn't necessarily know she was going to be the main lead. Did you catch her looking at the blue sky at the start?
Oh yeah.
Because
That
they did such a like effect on her eyes reflecting the blue that I thought that was her like downloading space signals or something. So it turned out to just be her looking at the sky. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, when you were used to gray skies, you want to see a blue sky every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking to a Brit. I know that feeling.
But yes, but I did effectively forget about that scene until they like bring it back at the end, you know.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. But
Uh,
it's I remember looking at it and thinking like, oh, she's some sort of robot or alien or something, and then no.
yeah, but she's got something weird going on, so.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you mentioned, well, we both mentioned the obsolete man, where it's like that guy was just like fully deserving of it. Where Eve is, they do a nice job of putting her in a nice gray area again, where she's just not terrible, but she's not that great. So
Yeah, we don't
just
like she
enough to
doesn't
feel,
deserve this is kind of the point, right?
yeah, she deserves a nice lesson, and we're already getting that question a little bit, but that's fine. Um,
But
you know,
also like they didn't seem like they had any way to send them back or anything.
Well, at the end, it sounds like, I mean, she's screaming, "Don't send me back." So maybe we just
Hmm.
don't see how they're sent back. Maybe they got that window that
I
they got
took it as her
infringed.
being sent back to where they were holding her.
I guess it could be that.
Yeah, like they didn't really make it clear like how many of them they were or what the danger was. But like I mean, obviously they're scapegoats, right? That's the point in the real world, so we don't necessarily need there to be a reason. But yeah, it it like it's a what's the word I've forgotten? It's like a metaphor. It's a parable. It's not necessarily supposed to make sense
And
when
when
you think
she's
about
have,
what happens an hour after this, or a week after this, or a month after this.
well, that Andrew, other regular guest, does bring up like he's like one of his things on the tripometer. One of the ways he judges it is, can they go? How can I imagine how they go on when this episode ends?
Mm.
So this one you can, but it's a nasty thought. It's the
But like,
version
what
you
about
said in particular, you know.
yeah? What about her two kids? Like, are they half? They're half alien. What happens to them?
Eh, yeah. Well, that's for the legal system to decide, I guess. And
No,
in this, yep, gotta trust that legal system. We're just
never
talking about
gets
people from
anything
other
wrong.
dimensions, and they never get anything wrong.
Yeah,
Um, hey, do you know what? Is Grubhub still a thing? Did you ever use Grubhub? It
I
was
don't think
out.
I don't think it was ever a thing in a country I lived in.
Okay, that is
I've
a
used
real
Uber
thing
Eats a
though.
little bit.
Okay, I've never used any of those couriers or whatever.
I've
So
used Uber Eats, and obviously Domino's just does their own deliveries.
right, and I In Japan, when I needed, I just always got an actual taxi because we have actual taxis, right?
Oh, I've never used Uber.
Yeah.
The Uber Eats I've ordered like a curry.
Okay. Yeah, I basically haven't used any of these services. So I'm like, does it still exist? Was that just like kind of a 2019 reference? I don't
Like
know. I just,
In the UK, it only got bigger during the pandemic, dude.
I'm sure.
But like in the UK, I had the actual phone numbers for the three local takeaways, and most of them I would ring and they'd be like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Luke." You know, you
There
don't
you
get that anymore with the Uber Eats.
go. Um, when she's having her weird, like sci-fi mind trip,
Mm.
she does sing like a bird. I mean, anyone would might want to be just a little more tight-lipped, especially if she remembers being strapped into a big weird machine.
Oh, I mean, she thought she was back with her husband. I mean, I think we in the audience all knew exactly what was going on in that scene.
That and a scene before, there's a few scenes back to back where it's like, Eve, keep peeking a little closer to the chest there, you know?
The other question I have though is like, do you think this would have been better as a 25-minute Twilight Zone?
That's a regular question we have around here. This one, it didn't drag. We've had a few
No,
episodes
I
where,
think
oh
this,
my God, 25 minutes.
but you could have like it did kind of do the same twist twice,
Yeah.
where she
Uh,
thinks she's out back with her husband and then she's not. Like
I
they only
guess,
had, I know it was t slightly different contexts. One was like a mind freak, and the other one was him betraying her. But they did basically do the same plot beat twice, so it could have been shrunk down.
yeah, you could probably take out that whole section with what was the character's
Oh,
name?
idea or whatever her name was.
Idea. Yeah, all of that could go out. There
Yeah,
was
because
a,
she basically gets it explained by her and then explained again by the guy.
I mean, you watch enough Twilight Zone, you've watched all the 25-minute ones. I guess you do start getting that like editor mind a little bit more because
Well, yeah, there is just this because it doesn't. There's no show anymore that is serious drama in 25 minutes.
yeah,
Comedy
this
shows are still allowed to be 25 minutes, but it's like 45 or bust for anything serious.
dramedy you can get away with. But yeah, this would have been a cool experiment to just do the 25-minute thing. This is also streaming though, so we've had 38-minute episodes. This one was
Oh,
42.
true.
We've had 50-minute episodes. So this is pure streamer length basically. So they're like but that's where having some constraints to, limiting yourself sometimes helps
Hmm.
the creativity and these episodes they're not bloated like season 4 of the original Twilight
Although
Zone.
because
So
those were a lot of those were like 25-minute episodes blown up, right?
yeah, at least these like maybe they're
These have
having
been
like
written for the length, but yeah, maybe it is just because if your thing is I've got a cool little sci-fi fantasy idea and a twist, 25 minutes is just right for that.
yeah, because I mean, the mid, act two of a Twilight Zone is usually treading water, right? It's like showing
Mm,
examples of the weirdness.
mm.
So you can pare that down a little bit, especially if you're using like special effects. Not that this is a very effects heavy episode, but design, it certainly has some design, but yeah, you can usually just get that like bang, bang, bang. If it's visually compelling, especially, you don't need to spend much time in that middle section.
Yeah,
Although,
I mean, you could have cut out the whole bit of her with the credit cards and stuff. They could have just grabbed them both at the same time.
yeah, could just, oh, it's declined. She leaves the store.
Oh no, no, I mean like they could have grabbed her and the housekeeper in the same scene.
I was thinking about that a minute ago when you first asked, and I think they do need to be arrested in different scenes. Because
Okay.
she's like, "Oh no, they've taken my housekeeper away. This is
Yeah,
horrible. I
like
like her, you know." But
it's
but
like,
it,
oh
she,
no, but this is the way of things.
right, right. So I think it,
It's the Joker speech, right? In a bus full of soldiers blows up, no one bats an eyelid.
yeah. But yeah, so I think it does need to be different scenes. But you could certainly pare down that next scene. Just show her coming out of the supermarket with her kids. Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
The idea thing would certainly be the easiest thing to take the scissors to in this one.
Yeah, that and one of the fake escapes.
Yeah. Although I was
But
thinking,
I'm not. It's not like I was sat here thinking like, oh God, I wish this is 25 minutes. This blows. It's more just a case of it's a mental exercise, right?
yeah, and that's when we've been. I mean, it's not one of the questions because
But yeah, I'm
everyone's
I'm
Twilight
not
Zone
surprised.
fans.
I'm not the first person to bring this up.
No, this is a regular point of order on this show. Um, let's see. There was one more note I had that I was gonna Oh yes, yes, the bring out your dead card. There's some I would not cut out that guy. That was great. Get into the bat, the corpses, and then when they're checking. Oh, this was the very justified obscenity where he keeps security away by saying they all died shitting blood.
Oh yeah.
That was gold. So that obscenity fully belongs there. You can't say that a
But
different way.
going back to like the what happens tomorrow? What happens to that guy tomorrow? He didn't have a pretty obvious he was the one who snuck her out.
Well, maybe he's from the Twilight Zone. He seems to have some kind of game because he didn't
Hmm.
seem too concerned. I mean, he went and cut the fence and stuff. Like he,
Maybe it is part of their plan to let him loose and see if they bring any more in or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe
That
he's
almost
part of
seems
the
like
system as well.
it could be. That would add to the coffiness of the whole thing. I didn't. I got the word more wrong in the end. Uh,
Yeah. You made me want to take a sip of my coffee though.
yeah. Okay. Well, I will start asking questions while you're sipping that coffee. The first being, who in this episode goes in or through the Twilight Zone?
It's more like she realizes she's from the Twilight Zone. You
Yeah.
could say the other dimension is the Twilight Zone.
Well, they say that in the opening credits, so I guess we
Yeah.
can't disagree with you on that.
But yeah, I mean, it's obvious it's the two lead women, right?
That is the switch right in the middle though, where it's the first half she's not in the Twilight Zone. She's in the hell of government bureaucracy zone, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's
Um
a Twilight Zone all of its own.
yeah, but that's a different kind of Twilight Zone because there's been a few episodes this season where like is something supernatural going on, is something not supernatural going on,
Mm,
and there has actually there's been a notable one where nothing supernatural was going on, and one where something was going on, but it turned out that wasn't the cause of anything in
mm.
particular.
Yeah,
So
you kind of. I think I did maybe say this when we were doing the older Twilight Zones. You wish that would happen more because it makes the weird ones weirder. It's like I think they said that was the original plan for the X-Files was that like sometimes there wouldn't be an alien, and then it ended up only happening once across like 7 seasons or whatever.
just to throw a little more contrast with the Obsolete Man, one, the Obsolete Man does have a very long Act Two middle section where they just
Mm,
delve in the weirdness because it's just two actors in a room like nailing it, you know.
yeah.
So that helps. Um, and oh, I forgot what point two was, but there was a point two. That's why I can't listen to all my podcasts anymore. I'll listen back and I'll have the same thought, and then I don't say it in the podcast. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And then you're going like extra crazy.
No, the most infuriating is when I miss an episode and I listen to you and Mark and I can't say what I want to say to you.
You bastards. But Eve and anyone else, it does seem there's the interdimensional people. So maybe this is what I was getting at. So physically she's from the Twilight Zone. Mentally but she
Yeah, this
remembers
is the Twilight.
stuff. She does have the repressed memories down
Mm.
in there too. I mean, it's not like those are fake.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
because
impression.
she says she'd been having those dreams previously.
Yeah, that's
It's
where
not,
she
it's
was.
not like she
That's
had no
specifically
connection.
what she might have wanted to, not just blurt it out right
Yeah.
after getting home. That's a conversation you have after you've been there a few weeks, you know?
Hmm.
Don't go straight out with that one. So there we go. I think we've covered my errant thoughts. So,
Mm.
um, does Eve deserve her trip through the Twilight Zone? We've already had a bit of the conversation.
I mean, obviously no, but I mean, if we strip it down to like the barest, what the metaphor is, right? She's the white woman who's more than happy to see it happen to her housekeeper. Well, not happy, but
Not
like
happy, more
she's
than
blasé about it happening to her house.
complacent.
Yeah, she deserves to get a little taste of it in sort of in the way that people deserve things in TV and movies. No, that doesn't mean that a real person would deserve this in real life. Like
Yeah.
in a movie, you want to see the guy get eaten by a shark because he was a little bit mean. It doesn't mean I think everyone who's ever like closed a door on me deserves to get eaten by a shark.
And going back to the States after not being there for 15 years, I mean, it wasn't like a movie level of difference, but I definitely noticed like the nice places were nicer and the somewhat crappier places were somewhat crappier. Like my
Hmm.
parents' neighborhood is, it's like lower middle class or whatever, right? So it's like uh, people were keeping their lawns real nice, but it was a little bit just a little more run down going around the central highway of the city. It looked a little bit more falling apart than I remembered it being. And then when we went to the, the touristy or the big business areas, everything looked very shiny. It's like, okay, I see. I guess that's why they made the Hunger Games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I just didn't notice when I used to live in the States or if it is a marked difference, you know? I mean,
I'm
you're
sure it's a
not the
bit
person to
column A
ask.
and column B, right?
Yeah.
But definitely when I go back to the UK, I notice maybe not on the same scale, but I do notice a widening divide. And I notice, man, the prices have gone insane. And I notice, like, oh, there's a lot of billboards for, like, debt consolidation and here's how you can rent something you'll never afford and stuff like that.
And then there's things we see and don't see. Like I've heard people in the States mentioning that they've actually been watching YouTube and when the ad comes up, because you and I we get something in Japanese, right?
Yeah,
And I've heard them actually getting a few like ICE recruitment ads. I'm like,
yeah.
what? That sounds like so Starship Troopers. Like I can't imagine being greeted with that ad, you know? But I guess that is a reality in the States.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how Japan works out. They're getting a little grumpier about us these days.
I mean, it's just it's an international wave, right? Of the the rich are getting too rich. They need to really pin the blame on foreigners as bad as they can.
Yeah. But anyway, no, but that's the thing. Nobody deserves it, so we'll include Miss Eve and Mrs. Eve is not
That's what I mean.
deserving
Yeah, she
either.
doesn't deserve it in the way real people deserve it. She deserves it in the way TV characters deserve it.
Right. But none of the people in that holding pen deserve to be in
No,
there. So, um, tripometer. Where do you want to put this on the
not that
tripometer?
high, man, but like in a good way. You know
Okay.
how like so we say sometimes the best Twilight Zones are the ones where the trip meter is either 0 or 5.
Yeah.
I haven't watched enough of the Peel stuff to know if that's the norm, but I wouldn't put it super high. I guess the contraption and the flashes was a bit trippy, so I'd give it like a 2.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking the contraptions and things because I basically agree with you. You doing ice stuff in 2019 like this. And like you said, it could be harder strength now, but in 2019, you wouldn't think to do that, would you?
No,
So you can't. This is the only one we're making a similar 1962 excuse for, because the other ones are like, oh, it's still quite relevant, which this one
yeah.
is too. It's just it's evolved,
Mm.
right? Anyway, the weird trip, the thing on her head, that's enough for a 3 from me. But yeah, the actual plot is not what's doing it, right? Because that's
Mm.
too feels too realistic. But I'll give it a 3 on this one. Uh, any final thoughts you want to throw out on Point of Origin?
So you said we're allowed to swear in this season?
I try not to. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Fuck ice.
Okay. Yeah. We can say fuck ice for sure. You can say that on live TV now, can't you?
What's up?
Didn't like two people say it at the Grammys or something?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, the Grammys are like last night, so or 2 nights here or something.
And this is coming out like this week, right?
Yeah. So we'll see that where that goes. Anyway, I guess I'll just plug us all. That sounds horrible. Since we do all the podcasting. That didn't come through damn Zoom mics. Um
Ah,
anyway, we do a whole bunch of podcasting over at podcastiopodcastius.org. It's at Patreon. Luke and I rant about movies every week on Films and Filth. We're currently doing all of the Fast and Furious movies. We've almost reached the end of the road, amazingly. So you can go all the way up to 8 now, I think. So do that if you will. What else is rolling? Podcast 1999 is just finishing up Animated Planet of the Apes, if you want to get into some weird 70s stuff. And of course, Luke loves Pokemon, so he's talking about them Pokemon,
yeah,
the
that'll be
monsters and
starting
Monster
again
Mash.
like next week.
Yeah, but that's your headline one, right? So
Oh yeah, yeah.
you got to bring
Yeah,
that up.
but I took January off.
The game show, that's not your headline one, but people
That's
should
that's
listen
the
to it.
that's the best one, but it's not the one anyone listens
Yeah,
to.
that's how it always works out. So
That's for the
yeah.
real heads.
So yeah, listen to those and fuck ice. Okay, hit the record.